Alright guys, good morning and welcome to episode 3 of The Lone Coder. And with perfect timing, my internet connection died just before I was going to go live, so I had to go restart my router. But I think we're good to go now, hopefully. And if anybody's listening or watching, last week we had a weird buzz on the line, so hopefully we don't have a weird buzz this time. I'm actually watching my own stream.
Alright guys, good morning and welcome to episode
and there I am.
3 of The Lone Coder.
And I don't hear a buzz, so I guess we're good. So, yeah, anyway, once again, so thanks everybody who voted on what project or what kind of project to do next. I offered a couple things. I said I would either do like a full stack minimalist web dev thing, or I would do some game development, or I would do high performance low level coding. Pretty much almost everybody wanted to see full stack. So sorry for the other stuff. Maybe I'll get to those next projects. But what I decided to do, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll look at old projects that I had either started or thought about starting and didn't do, and come up with one of those to start working on now because it's a good time to get it done. So I have a lot of weird domain names that I've acquired over the years because what will happen is I'll have an idea and I'll grab a domain for it, and then maybe sometime down the road, like I think one of them, like 10 years later, I'd actually built the thing. So this one was an idea I had. I don't know even how long ago it was, but it was more than 10 years ago, to do kind of a, I like newspapers. Okay, so newspapers, for those of you who are too young to remember, they used to be a thing, and you would get, this piece of paper in the morning, and it would have stories in it, and it was pretty much local stuff. So what I wanted to do was kind of create a site like that was just like it looked kind of like a newspaper, but it would be very, very hyper local stories that would not be interesting to people outside of your area where you're in. So I called the thing Blink Story. Sorry, get some tea. So we're going to build this kind of a hyper local news site. And so now we got some decisions to make. I mean, obviously it's going to be mobile pretty much first because the goal is to get people to report stories. So, people are going to report with their phones. And so the vision I had was basically people whip out their phone, they take a picture, and then just type like a one sentence title or something, on top of that, right? So basically the story consists of the picture and maybe one sentence about it, and then that's it. And then it goes out into the world, and obviously we're going to run into a lot of issues with content moderation and things like that, but that's kind of the gist. That's really what I wanted to build. So all right, thanks for the report on the audio. Yes. Okay, so we're cool. So obviously this will be a mobile first thing, and since I wanted, when you start a new project, you got to think about where you want it to end up. And, if I want a lot of people to use it, obviously, scalability is going to be an issue. There's going to be images, so content delivery, some kind of CDN or something is going to be important. And then, of course, the searching and being able to show relevant content to people wherever they are is going to be a big deal. So, there's a few different ways to, pros and cons you got to think about with this. So let's see. Let's get the, what's a good thing to start developing this? Use Excel. All right. All right. So, Blink Story, tech choices. So let's do this. So we're going to think about, so we got a couple areas. We got the client, right? So client, we want it to be obviously mobile, not just mobile first, but pretty much mobile only, right? You should be able to view the site on the desktop, and it should look nice, but mainly people should be using this on their phones, right? So very lightweight. Now the last thing is, okay, so when you're delivering a mobile experience to people, there's a couple different ways to do it. Like you could either have, let's see, let's talk about delivery options. You could have just a plain old web app, or just plain old website. Whoop. Hey, does it think it's being smart when it? Let's see here. So let's do this then. Maybe if I do this, I bet it's not gonna like it either. Yeah, okay, it didn't. Do a plain old website. We could do a web app, or we could do a native app, or native app or like a native app hybrid. How about that? So all these different possible tech choices come with their pros and their cons, right? But let's talk about, okay, plain old website. Let's do some pros and cons here. And this is just a good exercise to go through anytime you're architecting any new system, is you want to kind of think through these things before you get too deep into development, because the temptation would be to start coding, and then you're going to code yourself in a corner, and then life's going to suck. So let's think about this first. So plain old website. The pros, obviously, a plain old website it's easy. It's easy to build. So let's go with that. Easy to build. And whoop. Wait. What is it? Is it Control-Shift-Enter, or is it Alt-Enter? Oh, no, that's not. Is it? Yeah, it is Alt-Enter, isn't it? Oh. Excel is never clear. Why can't I click on that? Am I crazy? Oh, there we are. Okay. Easy to build. Let's see. Besides that, that's really the only pro I got for it. We go with easy to build. So we got the plain old website. That's it. It's easy to build. There are many cons for the plain old website. Unavailable offline, which is a huge deal. Let's see. Maybe let's see. User experience can vary. Let's put it that way. So user experience based on browser. I mean, really, the only thing that plain old websites have going for them is that they're easy to build. So this kind of frustrates me too. You see how I get distracted with these things? There we go. Okay. But now let's talk about a web app. So we're going to say this is moderately easy to build. It's not as easy as a plain old website, but it's fairly easy. Available offline. Okay. And let's see what else has it got going for it. Wish I could learn how to type. Where's Nave? He's going to complain about my typing. Let's see. Easy to install. Use. Let's put it that way. And actually, yeah, let's put that in the pros of the plain old website. Easy to deliver, right? Whereas the cons of the web app are, it's still not quite as smooth, not as smooth as native. And that goes for the website too. And then, in my experience, it's just you have to deal with the online offline stuff. And I guess you have to do that too with the native app, but it's just slightly awkward. Let's just say, like versioning of things are a little weird. All right, and then of course we get the native app. The pros is, best possible user experience. Can I spell? Right. Let's see. Easy to monetize if you want to do that. By charging in the App Store. What else? Anyway, that's a couple. And then the cons. The cons are, okay, well, also I said native app hybrid. So by that I mean using something like Cordova or another framework that lets you deliver HTML, JavaScript, CSS bundled up into an app package. The cons with that is, development is much more difficult. A lot more environmental issues and things like that. Cross-platform is just, multiplies the workload by a lot. You have to, because even if you do one of these like JavaScript CSS delivery things, or even something like Flutter and Dart, which I'm kind of interested in trying sometimes. Flutter and Dart, I hear a lot of good stuff about that. But you still have to kind of install and test things on the different, using the different platforms and being able to deliver them to the different app stores. So that's not super easy. So, delivery is much more difficult because you have to have accounts with all the app stores and you have to keep your packages up to date, and it's just a lot of DevOps overhead. So, okay, so based on all these things, sorry about the coughing. This is just a fun project for me, and I really don't see it taking off. Or everybody would like things to take off, but I don't think it will. So I'm not going to try and monetize it too much. And I just don't feel like at this point I want to get into the whole multiple platform development environment stuff. So because that is like a whole other can of worms that we don't really get into. So we're going to do this. We're going to where are my text effects? I want the ever popular. I can't. What is it? Control S or something? Oh, not that. Strike through. Where's my strike through? You never find what you want. Not that. Now I've hidden everything. Now the world is falling apart. What have I done? I want the ribbon back. Show me the ribbon. There we go. Yeah, pin that back. So I want strike through, but I guess I'm not gonna get it unless I go. Let's see. Where do I add things? Never mind. Here's what we do. There we go. So we're not going to do native app. Now it's down to plain old website or web app. Plain old website obviously is super easy, but not being able to do offline I think is a killer, because if somebody's going to report a story, it's possible they won't have signal. They might be in the mountains, they might be in a boat or something. You want to be able to let them deliver their story when they get back to connectivity. So I think that has to be out. So now we're down to building a web app. So by web app, that means something with a worker thread, something that's going to be able to do local storage stuff to keep data offline. So that it does add some complexity, but it should be interesting. So deciding about the client, basically that's what we're going to do. We're going to build a web app client, and then the server side. So let's talk about what we need to do for the server. What are the requirements? The idea is, kind of infrequent, relatively infrequent updates. Or if you look at it this way, update to read ratio. Ratio is low. So you're obviously going to be updating way less frequently than you're going to be reading, or that's the idea, right? So, think about that in contrast to something like an airline transaction system where it's almost, it's still probably, it's way higher, let's put it that way, because people are booking seats. So there's going to be a lot more, writes than there are in this. And this, you're going to write a story, hopefully 1,000 people will read it instead of, writing to a seat in an airplane and then, maybe 10 people will be looking for that same seat. So update to read ratio is low. There's a content delivery issue. So content delivery is key. So you want to be able to see your images really fast. You want to be able to use, maybe a CDN for that, right? Let's see. I think that the data requirements are pretty small. So like storage is minimal, because basically all I'm going to do is store, for each story, very little. I'm going to store like the key for the image, or we need that. We're going to store some data about it, like who submitted the story, this title, probably some metadata, whether people like it or dislike it or, blocked it or whatever. So data storage is minimal. And then, let's see, performance is key. Basically, which is true with any app. You always say that, but I mean, when you're getting on your phone and you want to read the news, you don't want to wait 3 minutes to get it. So performance, so it's called like read performance is key. So if it takes a little longer to upload a story, it's not as bad as if it doesn't deliver the data to you fast. So so delivery. So let's talk about and options. Now, the thing is, there's just so many different ways we could do this. But let's say we could. I don't really use things like Firebase and that stuff very often, but that is an option, I guess. You could use some turnkey, Firebase or something like that, because they have a lot of built-in stuff, right? So it's like easier to build initially. Cons, costs money. And when I say easier to build initially, that's because what I find with a lot of these kind of turnkey solutions like that is you can get something up and running pretty quickly. You kind of backload the complexity, when you do something like that, when you use a turnkey thing. So like initially you'll get a lot up in a hurry. It's like, oh, we got our user logins already done, and we got, this content management's already done, and this database already available, blah, But then you'll find that there's that one thing about your app that's special, and it doesn't really fit into that backend framework. And then you're either just working really hard to fight the framework you're in, or you're having to scrap it, which sucks. So if you can do it, there's the custom backend, custom server, custom backend. More difficult builds. Using FOSS, it's free. Software, you just have to only pay for hosting. Let's see. So, with the custom backend, you can pick exactly the technologies you want. You can tweak them the way you like. I mean, it does require a lot more DevOps. So let's see, put some more, more DevOps burden. Let's put it that way. Right. But, part of the thing for me is, that's the fun of it. So I can already tell you which one I'm leaning towards on this one. I'm probably going to be doing a custom backend for this guy. So let's go ahead and, compulsively make that gray. So we're going to do a custom backend, and we'll do a front end that's HTML, CSS delivered via a web app. And I honestly can tell you, I don't think I've done a web app, or it's been so long since I've done a web app, I don't know how it's done today. It used to be really kind of awkward, but maybe it's gotten better. So that's the good news. We get to learn some new stuff, and that'll be fun. So let's go ahead and start. The next part of this exercise, whenever I'm building a new system like this, is I start thinking about the nouns that I'm dealing with. So let's see. I'll just go ahead and save this off. Why not? You never know. Put it in my documents. Whoop. All right. Now, compulsively rename this. Tech decisions. All right, there we go. But let's go over here. Whoop, create a new sheet. Nouns. So when I say the nouns, I'm saying when you're building a new system, the first thing you want to know is what are the things it's going to have to track and keep up with. So for this system, we're going to have users, right? So user is a noun. A story is a noun, right? Let's see. So part of this is deciding what the app looks like and works like. And so the way I was thinking about it was kind of the way newspapers used to be, right? It's like you got your hometown newspaper, and it keeps information that's related to your community or the area that you identify with, right? So, right now I'm living in Thailand, right? So I live in a place called Bangkok, right? So the smaller area would be like the Bang-au area, which is, about the size of a reasonable suburb or neighborhood, in any other city. And then Bangkok would be the more major, area. And then, of course, there's national, right? So I think we would call these, what do we call these? These scopes or whatever. Honestly, naming stuff is one of the hardest parts of programming. But let's see. Let's call these scopes. Story scopes. How about that? Okay, maybe. And this might change later, but I think we'll call it a story scope. Because basically you want to, even though you can do things geographically, I mean, we could just measure. It's like only show me stories that are, within 20 kilometers of where I'm at or whatever, right? That'd be like, 10 miles or something? I don't know. It's like I've been using kilometers over here a lot. So purely geographical doesn't always make as much sense as being able to lump things together into a kind of a more of a social context, right? It's like this area identifies itself, it's like trying to think of a good example, but it's like I used to live in a town in South Carolina, and it's like, within 5 miles one direction you're in a different county, and it was like a different city, and I want to get news from that area, even though it's not necessarily, it wouldn't geographically match if I just used the geographical groupings, like from Google or something. So I want to be able to have scopes for things. Now, the next thing we got to think about is, what's this app going to look like? So let's get Balsamiq out. I haven't used Balsamiq in a really long time. I like Balsamiq because it helps me get over my obsessiveness about trying to make things look perfect to start with. So let's go ahead and, they're giving me some nice tips. Okay, very cool. All right, awesome. So if you guys have never used this, Balsamiq is a really cool tool. Actually, I have the license. I have to pay for it, but I don't have to pay for it again. But mobile. Let's get a mobile phone. Boom. All right. So we'll call this blank. Call this home. All right. And whoop. That's pretty small. Is it just an icon? Oh, maybe that's what it is. Oh, that's crazy. Like I said, I have not played with this in a while, so we get to work on it together. Let's see. Oh, they have a separate section for iOS, Android. All right, well, let's do Android. Smartphone. Ah, that's what we were looking for. Okay, cool. So now we got a smartphone. So what does the home page, you got to kind of think about what is it going to look like when we first get there. So obviously, if it's going to be interesting, when you get in there, you want to see stories, right? And you're going to want to see stories that are relevant to you somewhat, hopefully. So do we do like a scrolling Facebook style feed or something where you just see the stories, like the full images at the top? Well, let me show you this. So it's like, let's say this is, we'll rename this, call this the mobile home. Mobile home. All right. But I'm going to create a new wireframe over here. How do I create a new one? And we'll call this one desktop home. And let's get a browser. All right. So on the desktop, this is kind of honestly how I pictured the app in the first place, was kind of as when I was going through the desktop. But here we go. So it'd be like Blink Story. And then, kind of like a newspaper masthead. Let's see. let's go ahead and look at some newspaper mastheads, and we can crib that, I guess. And okay, so yeah, they're pretty official looking, right? So then they have the little, date, timestamp in there, right? Whatever, that kind of stuff. So I guess maybe what we're thinking is Blink story. And then the next thing would be to say maybe something like this. Like I kind of like this Palm Springs. I mean, it's simple, but so we could do a smaller title. For Bangkok. Something like that. All right, and of course, unlike a real newspaper, all this white space up here is not a big deal. I guess we can leave this because we'll probably end up needing it for maybe for user account stuff or some other things maybe. And this is obviously just a mock-up to kind of get an idea how things look. But let's get a couple lines in here. Okay. Let's get an H rule in here. Something like this. Right there. And then in here we could say, I guess we could say your current location maybe or something like that with the date and all that. So let's get a label. Just get a feel for it. So Bangor, which is in Plat, Bangkok. So maybe do that. Like, what would that look like? Okay. I'll just use this for now. So maybe do a hierarchy or something to show the different scopes that we're in, right? So, like I would be seeing news for initially mainly Bangor, but then Bang Plat's like the bigger area. I mean, I think it's like they call it an ampur, which is like a legal subdivision or something. Then Bangkok, or if you want to be hip, okay, so Bangkok is kind of the anglicized name for where we're staying, but everybody who lives here calls it Krung Thep. Krung Thep, the whole name is super, super long, and in fact, if you're really curious, I don't know if you are, but let's see, like, yeah, there's actually a song about it. But yeah, if you want to watch one of these videos, the name is like really, really long. But Krung Thep Mahanakhon is what the full official name is, but for our purposes, we'll use Bangkok. So then we're going to use the area. Let's see, we want to know the date. And then we will say, let's say today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022, right? All right, that's looking good. Let's get this label longer. Center that bad boy. Okay. Now, so then, obviously, what I was picturing was, a bunch of images, right? So, this. Let's see. Heading. No, I don't want that. Let's just do text. Is that all I want? No, that's not what So now we're down to, we've got an image that somebody took, and then, you know, I guess let's look at some newspaper layout stuff, see how it works. Okay, so they have like their, like the story, they have the story heading, and then they have the image, you know, something like that. You know, they have the heading, they have the text. This isn't, ours is going to be way more image centric, so we don't have to be slavish about how we, you know, obey that kind of a layout constraint. But let's say like, you know, and to be clear, guys, obviously this project's going to take a while. You know, the last project was only like 2 sessions or something. This one's going to be substantially larger because we got to build a front end and a back end and do a bunch of other stuff and design. But you know, I think the exercise is worth it because we can at least kind of see how you build something like this from scratch if you have never done that before. So let's go ahead and, you know, the other thing you want to think about is, you know, how long you want these titles to be. Obviously, the shorter the better. I mean, that's kind of, brief titles are great, but it's like, you know, like, what would be an interesting local story? It'd be like, you know, tree down, you know, in soy, you know, 89 or 73 or something like that. Soy means, by the way, is the, it's like an alley in Thailand. So let's see here. And we're going to need, let's see. So part of the thing I've been trying to think about is like, you know, like image formats and layouts. Because, I mean, people are going to have different cameras. They're going to have different image. Do I force them all to use the same image format? Or do I deal with the fact that some of them might be landscape, some of them might be portrait? Let's see here. Get that going. And make that boldish, maybe a little bit bigger. You know, in a perfect world, we could do stuff like this, right? Tree down in soy 73. You know, so that's the local news story. You know, there might be national news stories too. So, you know, like, let's see. What was the one? Typhoon, you know, hits Isan. I can't remember the typhoon's name. It was, what was the typhoon's name? Noru, yeah. Typhoon Noru. It's Isan, you know. And there's another picture there, right? Okay. Let's see here. This one, unfortunately, I think this control doesn't let me wrap. Can't wrap text here. Nope. Let's see. All right, then we're going to go something else. Come on now. Let's not be like that. Where'd my text go? Right there. Okay. Is it going to wrap or not? Well, we'll see. Typhoon Noro hits Isan. Noru hits Isan. We're going to make this like that big, maybe. Yeah. Maybe that big, because I want it to wrap. I want something that has to wrap. There we go. It does wrap. Okay, very cool. Typhoon Noru hits Isan. Okay, so let's see. Now the information we want to be able to see at a glance here, I guess we want to. You definitely, the images are going to take precedence because you want to be able to see. That's the whole, pretty much the whole story. The idea here is like a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So you see a picture, you know, that's going to interest you in finding out more, I guess. Sorry, I'm still drinking my oolong. So, but what else do you want to know? You kind of want to know timeliness. Well, you want to know who took the picture, you know, because obviously, you know, the idea would be over time you would start to realize that certain people took better pictures than others, or certain people were less trolly or whatever. So, let's see. We're going to want to find an avatar. Maybe they have an avatar. User badge. User circle? Yeah, there we go. I'll just use this user circle here like this, right? Can I make it smaller? I want small. I want extra small. And then let's give this person give them a name. User X, whatever, right? So at user X, and then so then showing what time it was. There are a couple strategies, right? You could do the kind of the humanized JS thing or whatever, where basically you'd say, a few minutes ago, or just now, or something like that. Obviously, that's only valid for a little while. The thing I never liked about that is you got to keep updating it, right? It's like, what if you leave your browser sitting here for a while and you come back and look at it, and it's like you want it to say something that actually is accurate. So, but well, let's just do that for now. Let's see. I'd say just now. Okay. So we got the timestamp here. 1 day ago. Let's put that like that, maybe. Something, right? Okay, well, actually, so I kind of cheated here because you can't really lay it out like that. So then, see, this is where we start running into issues. So now we got to figure out, okay, how are we going to accommodate this? So we got, come on, user Y, right? Usery, either that user Y or usery, however you want to look at it. Okay. So this is something else I had thought about, is like, actually, if you've ever laid out something like a newspaper or whatever before, you got the columns, but you do have issues kind of with things being kind of regular. So we'll have to think about how we want to arrange these, because there's going to be a lot of stories, and you want something that's kind of visually pleasing, and when you're laying out multiple items that can be different sizes, it gets kind of hairy. Even using CSS and stuff, you can use grid, but grid really only works when my problem with grid is it assumes that in advance how big everything is, kind of like how many columns you're going to need and how many columns everything's going to span. But in our case here, it's not 100% clear. So I'm not going to get too far into the weeds, but when I'm looking at this project, one of the things I think is going to be challenging is coming up with an attractive visual layout for all these stories automatically, right? And that's what I want. I mean, when you come in here, I want you to see, number one, things that are relevant to you, like wherever you happen to be at that moment, your location, services, or whatever, will hopefully tell us where you're at, and we'll show you relevant content to you. Also, we want to let people pick other places if they're curious. Like, I'm living in Thailand, but sometimes I want to check on how things are going back home, so I want to be able to log into that. You want to see relevant stories, but you also want it to be visually appealing. So that's the thing. Let's go ahead and throw in a couple more stories just to feel like, let's see, can I lock this thing in the back? Yeah. Now I don't have to mess with that anymore. Very cool. All right, so, all right. What's another good story? And the thing about it, since people are self-reporting these stories, they literally could be anything. They could be, left at MRT station, something like that. And then, have a picture of some trash. Five minutes ago. All right. All right. Okay. So, this is kind of I think this is a good start for our homepage, right? So this is already kind of giving us a feel for the data we're going to need to store with everything, and like, you know, what kind of information we're going to need to present this. Obviously, we need to know where you're at. We're going to do some cool stuff. This gets interesting too, like showing time zones. Believe me, you've not really experienced time zones until you've lived overseas for a while, because you're continually having to deal with the fact that, you know, the people you're talking to, it's yesterday for them. So you can't even say things like, well, have a good night, or have a, you know, see you tomorrow, because it might be tomorrow already. So it gets weird. But dealing with the time zones and things, we have to do that. Now, let's see. So the next thing would be, you know, this is kind of like the top level, right? So this is, we can kind of, I guess, crib this for the mobile layout for now. So let's see how we would adapt this down into mobile. So let's see. So back in here, we're not going to be able to take it verbatim clearly because it's going to be way too much, right? But, well, we may be able to deal with this. Okay. And then this, right? So, well, this whole thing actually. I'm going to grab all that. So, let's see. We'll give it like that, and then shrink this down a little bit, maybe. Shrink both of these guys down. So yeah, when you're mobile, you know, the same things that would work, you know, on a desktop, you got this, you know, wonderful amount of space, and you can do pretty much anything you want. So mobile, you got to start thinking about how can I compress things down, you know? So well, we'll leave this for now, assuming that we can deal with it later. We'll put the date on a different line though, for sure. Okay, so let's get that out of there. Move this thing down a little bit. Just new label. Oop. All right. Okay. We'll roll with that for now. See what we think of that. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to plug the Discord server again too. If you haven't joined my Discord server, if you want to ask questions or you want to know what's going on, you can find a link in the description of this stream, and you can join. And I'm watching the live stream chat in case people have questions and stuff. But okay, so you know that's going to work for now as a header, I guess. Obviously, there's some missing components we're going to have to deal with later. Like I said, well, let's go ahead and start adding those in, I guess, because you're going to have a user badge. So do the user circle up here in the corner, you know. Yeah, just leave that for now. And we're going to have one of those over here. So now we got to clearly figure out well, you know, this is it might work. Might be able to make that work. Okay. Not going to overlap that thing though. Okay, there we go. All right, so now if we did that, let's grab a story and see what it looks like. Okay, so if we do the total scrolling approach, right, then we can do this, right? Oop. Make that font a little bit bigger. Okay, actually, get up there. There like that. Get this up here like that. All right. All right. So now we got an ad, we got a story. So we might eventually want to have a different view than this, though. I'm thinking eventually you might want to go into kind of a, I guess it would be kind of a Pinterest kind of layout or something. You know, I don't use Pinterest much, but yeah, I don't want all that. Let's see, can I not even look at Pinterest without logging in? I think that's why I never use it. I just want to be able to, yeah, well, whatever. But basically where you tile all the things across, so it might look like, let's go ahead and move this over a little bit. At least copy that. Okay, actually, let's do that then. Okay. So we got that. You know, maybe. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So something like this, maybe. So you would be able to kind of browse all the thumbnails really fast and then drill in on something that looked interesting or whatever. So that's another possibility, right? But, you know, for right now, I think the good news is we can build one layout, this layout here, that we can use for both this mobile thing and for this. Now, the other thing is, of course, what's the most important thing? Making it easy for people to report stuff. So let's go ahead and add our camera button. Let's get a camera in here. So I think that's going to be front and center, and probably, hopefully a little bigger than that. And that's too big, but, well, somewhere between those two, I don't know. Front and center, like, camera button's going to be a big deal. And let's see, can I make it transparent or semi-transparent? Or I don't think I can. But in the real app, I want to make it transparent. So for now, just pretend that that's transparent. So basically, it'll be there all the time, right? So as you're scrolling and stuff, it'll be visible, but it will be transparent, I guess. And we'll, you know, maybe we'll have to play with that, but that's what I want, is basically to be able to click the button at any time, take a picture, and report. Yeah, let's make it soy 92 too. Okay, so let's save this off. I'll call this story design. Yeah. Okay. All right. And actually, now is a good time to start doing some housekeeping stuff. So let's go ahead and get that going. Go into projects. Go to my projects folder, GitHub. And we will create a new one called Blink Story. And as I said before, I like to have like this top level folder so I can create, you know, let's say like a design folder, and I'll move those files in there. So let's go ahead and close this for now. Did I close Excel yet? No, let's close Excel. Oh, you're gonna have to save it first. Yeah, we'll save that off. All right, and then let's go ahead and go back to my documents and get those out of there. I like to keep these artifacts around just because, you know, you might think they're not that important, but, you know, you'll want to refer back to them at some point and be like, oh, yeah, that was my original plan, or things have changed or whatever. So we got these in here. And let's see, close that off. Balsamic. Oh, there's a lot of releases, huh? All right, fine. We'll go ahead and get an update. All right, so, you know, we kind of have a game plan for how we want the thing to look. I have a rough idea of, you know, the front end technology. I want to do this web app stuff. So the big decision I got to make now is decide what I want to build the back end out of. And so, yeah, okay, we just relaunch that. Yep. Yeah, we'll let that go. So at this point, I mean, you could technically build it in almost anything, but I want it to be really performant, right? So, well, here are the options I'm kind of going through in my head. I'm like, I could use Python and Fast API, and that would probably be pretty fast to be okay. But what if I just want, like, here's how I look at it. Like, what if you take it to the most absurd extreme? It's like, what if I want the utmost performance I could possibly ever get? You know, it's like, well, I could write it in assembly language right, or something like that, but I'm not going to do that. Or you could write it in C, still too much. Now, the step up from that would be something like Golang or Rust, maybe. So I could write a custom server in Golang or Rust that would be wickedly fast, right? And, you know, that would be awesome. And then the question is, you know, if I did that, so what are the trade-offs? If I do it in something like Python, I could probably get it done a little faster. But, you know, the performance would not be as zippy. Well, let's go look and see. Let's go do some Googling around and see. Fun versus Golang web server performance. Let's see what people think. Yep. Okay. So, I mean, just the headline right there is kind of telling us something. But you know, yeah, it's really sounding like, you know, if I want maximum performance, we're going to be going with Golang, right? So yeah, these are obviously marketing sites and things, but I mean, I know that intuitively anyway. It's like Python is an interpreted language, Golang is compiled. So, you know, the trade-off is it's going to be a little more complex. But if we want to just get squeeze the absolute most we can out of our hardware, and there's something to be said about that. It's like, especially if you're a startup or if you're doing something for free like this, get the most performance out of the hardware you can if you can do it. You know, I'm not advocating if you're not comfortable doing low-level coding and things. Yes, you're going to waste a lot more time developing it, and that's the trade-off. But if you are, I would say go for it. You know, why waste a bunch of computing resources and stuff if you don't have to? So, I think let's do Golang, because I haven't done much of Golang, honestly. I've done one. Oh, I'm sorry about that sound. It's kind of a weird thing. I have like this rock on my desk, and occasionally it falls, and I like it because it startles me and it keeps me alive. You know, I've done one kind of decent project in Golang, but this would be good for me because I like to get a little more experience in it, so that'll be fun. Okay, so we're going to build our server side in Golang. Our front end obviously is going to be HTML, JavaScript, CSS, right? And as a web app. So, sorry about that. Let's think about how we want to start. I mean, here's the deal with this stuff. When you're doing problem with doing mobile development. Mobile development, it's really about your development process to make it easy. It's like you need to set things up so that you can easily test and deploy new builds and things, because, you know, even if you have the best emulators in the world, man, as soon as you put them on a real device, things get different. So I'll show you some tricks that I have for dealing with that. But let's see. Sorry, this is the least interesting part. I'm thinking. So it's like, you know, because, okay, so there's not going to be a ton of static content. I'm trying to think, do I want to set up like something like Nginx or whatever, right? Do I want to, do I want to set up Nginx to deliver all my static stuff? Let's see, I got to, I'll tell you what I'm going to do while we're doing that. I'm going to go find my API key so I don't have to keep seeing that message. But do I want to set it up, or do I want to handle everything in Go, like including delivering static content and everything like that? Let's see now. Okay. Here's my license key. Let's get Balsamic to be happy with my license key. Where do I register? Right here. Okay, cool. Now I don't see that message anymore. Nice. And up. Now you guys all saw my license key too. Ugh, great. These are the things you learn about streams in retrospect, right? So, Brad, when you see this, can you get that out of there? But I'm sure Balsamic will be mad if 1 million people register this, but if you do, I mean, it's a great product, but you know, please don't use my license key. Anyway, so yeah, this whole streaming thing is an exercise for me too. So, do I want to set up like something like Nginx to do the static side of things, and then use Golang just for the dynamic things? Or do I want to just make it a monolithic server, just Golang doing everything? So let's, here's how I would approach something like this. So it's like, I'm already familiar with Nginx. I know how that works, and I know how I could structure it. Basically, I would do a reverse proxy with Nginx. So I'd serve up all the static content, and then poke a hole in it to call the backend server running Golang. But let's see, Golang static content, or static server. Let's look up and see what people say about serving static files. Let's see, performance. Yeah, let's see. Somebody's already done some of this stuff, so Nginx with an empty response. So that's 31,000 requests a second, 62,000 requests a second. That's pretty cool. Go with a simple response. It's looking like about 60 to 62,000. Yeah, okay, let's see. Go with the file server. Go with the cache file server. But they don't have Nginx with these, do they, though? That's unfortunate. A cached file server. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah. Even if Nginx is faster serving static content, which it could be possible for it to do that, but there's always the extra hop when you do the reverse proxy. If you see what I'm saying, it's like, let's see. Let's see, we have a whiteboard here somewhere, right? It's like I've done this before. Is this the one? Yeah, I think so. So if you can picture how this works, let's say, so here is Nginx, right? Oh god, that's great handwriting. So there's Nginx running, right? And then over here would be my my Go server, right? Go server. Okay, so the web traffic comes in Nginx, right? If it's static files, it immediately serves them back, right? But if it's an API request, then it will have to forward it to my Go server, and then it has to reply back, and then it has to reply back. So it's always going to be slower if you have to go through the reverse proxy. So, the question is, use the reverse proxy for what? It's like, well, one thing is if you don't want to implement static file sharing in your own server, then you got to do that. There are arguments about hardening and that sort of thing, but honestly, I think the key with hardening and keeping things safe is minimalism, right? So if you do a minimal Go server and you're really rigorous about where your static files are served from, and you're good about implementing TLS, SSL stuff, I think we can just do away with Nginx. So we can just do our own file server. So Go will just serve everything, right? I'm okay with that, I think. So, all right. That being said, we got to decide whether we're going to start doing the front end stuff or we're going to start doing the back end stuff. If anybody's online, let's see, because I'm honestly ambivalent about it. So if anybody's actually in the chat, you guys can let me know which one you like. You want to do front end stuff first or back end stuff first? I think nobody's there. But also there's a lag, I believe. So I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds and finish my tea. backend first. All right, the people have spoken. They want to see the backend first. Oh, we got 2 votes for the backend. All right, sweet. So let's do the backend first. So the way we're going to handle this is, I usually test this stuff using something like Postman or whatever. So call it like test-driven development or whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to fire up Postman. Let's get this out of my way. I think I've already signed in. Let me see here. All right. Okay, let's get Postman running. So here's invites already. Nice. Once again, maybe we can get rid of that. I'm not sure. Just go home. Let's see. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff. So we're going to create ourselves a new collection. We're going to call this bad boy. Actually, hold on. So let's see. Call this my personal Blink Story workspace. How about that? Boom. Okay. So let's create a collection. And this one will be Blink Story. Yeah, we'll just call it Blink Story. All right, cool. So, okay, so now we're already getting into things like, okay, let's do the easy thing first. Let's get a static web server up and running, right? Because then I can start editing some mock-ups for the front end and things. So let us get a text editor up. Let's get Sublime going. This is the last project. This is cool. Exactly, it's all done. Let's get rid of that. I wish I could figure out how to get Sublime to create a new project. I've never been able to get it to do that. Let's see. It's like you can't close a project and you can't really open it. It's like maybe if I run Sublime again, it'll let me do that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So now let's go ahead and add a folder. So first of all, let's put it. All right. So remember, I'm talking about organizing your project. So we got the design folder, which is basically where I'm putting all the design-related artifacts and things. So let's create a server folder here. All right. And then, we'll create a client folder too. Maybe how about that? Whoop, I keep doing that. All right. So now I can open this guy. So we're going to go up a few. Go to Blink Story. Boom. All right. So now here's another one where it's good to take a minute to kind of think about how you're going to structure this, because I mean, I'm not as familiar with Go as I am with something like Python. So let's go ahead and look at, Go project structure. How do we structure our folders and layouts and stuff? Let's see. This is a basic layout for Go application projects. All right, let's see. Yeah, well. Yep, Go modules. Okay, so. Okay, command. So command main applications for this one. So, all right. So this is a good exercise. So you see what I've found here is this GitHub where it's basically showing you how to structure your Go projects. And it's way better to take some time up front and learn this than it is to start the wrong way and refactor. It's always so much slower to refactor than it is to just write new code and good code. So let's see here. So Don't put a lot of code in the application directory. Yeah, if it's going to be imported, it can be used in other projects and use the package directory. Is not reusable, then internal. Okay. All right. It's common to have a small main function that imports and invokes the code from internal and package directories. All right. So internals for private stuff. Okay. And then package. Okay. So if we make any libraries as part of this, we'll put them in the package directory. All right. Okay. Vendor. Okay. All right. Sorry about this. Not interesting watching me read stuff, but I'm just trying to absorb the structure. API. All right. JSON schema files, protocol definition. Okay. Well, so I guess they want to put all of the web stuff into static, all the static files and everything into this structure. I guess I could do that. I guess that would be all right. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of our client folder. We'll just do everything in here. So init files, right? Script files, got it. Build. Deployments. Okay. Test stuff. Docs. All right. Design documents. Okay. Let's see. Tools. Examples. Party. Git hooks. Assets. A website. All right. Okay. So let's go back up to the tippy top and start getting an idea of how I want to lay this out. So command. So their command folder. Okay. Your app. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I see. It had to have a file in there, otherwise it would be deleted. So let's take a look at an example of this. Let's like, is this right? Main.go. Okay. All right. Yep. And so that just imports. Yep, imports these local packages, right? Right. All right. Okay. So this is the standard way of doing things. I wonder if I would be better off just having a module in the root and then running it from there, you know. I don't know. Let's start with that and we'll see. I mean, even after reading all that, it's like I think I want to do this. So first of all, I think you have to create a can you create a new do you have to do anything special to initialize a Go project? Yeah. All right, so let's see. Yeah, you do Go mod init. Okay. All right. So this guy is walking us through what he does, and this looks okay. So we're going to need this command prompt. All right. And let's go to... I wish I could type one of these days. Projects, GitHub, Blink story. Okay. Now, server, ready to go, mod init, GitHub, username. This means blink story. All right. And so now we've got a go mod file. Okay. Very cool. So now we're going to, I guess we will follow their structure. So we can just do that in the editor though. So we'll create a command folder. Oh no, that's not what I want. Yeah. New folder. We'll call this one command. New folder. Call this one the BS server or the Blink story server. Blink server. How about Blink server? That sounds a little cooler. Or BS server. How about the BS server? I like it. Unfortunate abbreviation, right? Okay. And then we'll get our main Go file. So, okay, we got a main Go file, right? All right. Cool. Oh, this is very cool. So we already got a web server ready for us. So let's grab this and slap that in there. Okay. Call this Go. Okay. And then run command. Let's see, wait, where are we at? Go run command. BS server main.go. All right. So now, yeah, just for kicks. Boop. Hello. Okay, so we have our web server up and running, which is kind of cool. Obviously, we're gonna change this. But okay, so all right, let's see. All right, this is a good. So that's the next thing. I do want to use a web framework. I don't want to write a whole framework from scratch. So let's start looking at some of these and see what we like. Okay, so templates, middleware, extensible, data binding. So echo. Let's go look at the docs. See what we got. Okay. So it's build robust and scalable RESTful APIs, group APIs. Yeah, see, this is what Gin. So it beats Gin. Gin I've heard of before. Gin's another Golang web framework, I think. Basically, here's just a good tip. If you see this kind of stuff in the documentation, these people care about performance, right? I mean, you almost will never see this stuff in anything like a Node or in a Python in a Python package because they know it's not going to be great. So they basically, that's not their focus. But since we've stated that we want performance to be our focus, then we're going to get right in there and see what we got. So let's see. Go get version 4. So what's the current version? Is that the current version? I assume version 4. All right. And then let's see how to use it. So you create a new instance. Okay. Okay, so it does have routing, which is kind of cool. And let's see. All right. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of this stuff, see what we got. Okay. Logging library. Cache system. Okay, that's kind of cool. Starter kit, whatever that is. Let's see. What is this thing? Pagoda. What does this do? Okay, so it's got a lot of stuff. It looks like this thing's doing dependency injection, configuration. All right, so there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole a little bit, but that's good. I mean, the cool thing about using a new technology like this is kind of getting a feel for the layout of what's available and what people use. I don't know if we need a full-blown ORM or not. I don't know if we need a full authentication system. The way I'm going to do authentication, I think, is the same way I've been doing it for a lot of stuff now. I'll show you. For another one of my projects. Well, actually, maybe I won't. But what I do is I do an email-based authentication. So basically, you come to the site, you say, my email's, mine is smeans@gmail.com. So I type in smeans@gmail.com, I hit enter, I get an email, I click the link, and I'm logged in. And, it just kind of bypasses the whole, you could come up with random passwords, store in your password manager, have it populated or whatever. But, in the end, if you have access to my email, you have access to my accounts because you can reset the password, right? So I just skip the middleman, and whenever you want to log in, you just click on that link in your email. So I don't necessarily need all that authentication stuff. I think Echo has its own routing stuff, so this looks like overkill. Let's stay out of this for now. Let's see about static files, though. Let's see. Okay, serving static files in Echo. Looks good. Okay. All right. Right. Okay, so there is a static module of some sort here, it looks like. Which is kind of cool. Okay, so for now, let's do good night. Thank you for coming. Sleep tight. My friend is going to bed. I don't blame them. It's getting kind of late over there. So, let's go ahead and use Echo for now. Let's see how that goes. So, let me do a real quick search, though. So, let's see. Just see what people are talking about at the moment. Well, let's see. Okay. What? Online booking? What? Streaming? What are we talking about? These are use cases or what? What? Okay. Buffalo. All right. All right. Front-end programming, back-end planning. What was this? Okay. Martini. Gorilla. Bigo. Echo didn't even show up yet. Let's see. Yeah, Django. I'm not looking for something that heavyweight. Gin. Okay. Performance. Yep, that's what Gin. So, okay. So it does, Goji does WebSockets. WebSockets are interesting. I might want to do that, so that could be a thing. Let's see, Mango. Okay, doesn't sound great. GoCraft. Okay, Rebel. Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from anything that says like full featured or complete, like that kind of stuff. I'm looking for a fairly minimalist web framework because I want it to be fast and easy to use. So, let's see. Okay, this one adds some. I think it's either, like I said, I've looked at Gin before, and Echo looks like it might be a little bit better than Gin. So the only other one I might want to look at is, let's look at Goji. Goji. All right. Request multiplexer. Okay, so it's just a multiplexer, I guess. Okay. All right. It's very few features. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm still feeling okay about Echo, I guess. Couldn't start. Okay, so you can get into analysis paralysis. I mean, I'm thinking we won't go too far wrong with Echo. The cool thing about open source is even if I find something in there I don't like, I can always change it. That's the best part about using open source software. I have literally done that before. I've had to branch, create my own forks of things and change something I didn't like. So we have the power to do that. So we're going to roll with Echo. And we can serve static files. So let's do that. So sorry about the coughing. Let's go ahead and get let's get a basic Echo. Let's get a basic Echo app up and running here. So this looks like kind of the Hello World version of Echo. So we'll grab that for now. To see if we can get that working. Okay. Back to our and okay. So we want to go get, right? Is there a way to do that? It's like get everything. Let's see. Go get dependencies. How do you get all? Go get. Is that right? That's kind of crazy if that works. I guess it is. Works. Okay. Not a very intuitive command, but it worked. Alright, so now it's on 1323. So let's go look at 1323. Yep. There it is. Okay, so that worked. Very cool. Alright, so we have that up and running. Let's think about how we want to lay this stuff out. So, in the real world, obviously, we're going to have to do things like do SSL. We're going to have to, it'd be nice to have our configuration stored somewhere other than just hard-coded strings here in the actual source file. So, and we're going to put our handlers probably in another module or something. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But, okay, so let's go back in here. We'll create a new folder in here. We're going to create a new folder called web. And that's going to be our static content. So let's create a new file in here and then go find my old trusty HTML5 minimal boilerplate from, where do I keep getting it from? Is it from these guys? No, not those guys. Is it these guys? No, it's not these guys, is it? It is these guys. Maybe it is. Good enough. Thank you, Free Code Camp. That's mine. There we go. Okay. And we'll call this, of course, Big Story. also like putting my stuff in a subfolder. Actually, we'll put this on from the root. Stop doing that. I gotta quit saving. I compulsively hit save, and that's why you see that. So let's put this in JavaScript index.js. My XML days make this kind of bugs me, but I'm gonna do this syntax here. All right. Now we save it. Okay. Okay, so now let's go in here and let's go ahead and add that static module in. Okay. So e.static, okay. So we got our right. And see what happens. Okay. And I missed a failed blink story. Let's fix that. Oh, actually, it did work though. Let's see, blink story, blend story. How about blinny story, like a nice pastry or something? That'd be great. Maybe I'm a little hungry. Let's see. Okay, yep. So it's trying to load everything. Yeah. So if you look at the source code here, it is in fact trying to load our index file. It's trying to load those other files that don't exist yet. So let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of static stuff. Let's get this static stuff cleaned up, and then we'll go back and we will start making this main module a little bit cleaner. So the first thing we can do is we can go ahead and create our subfolders here. So let's get our CSS subfolder. Let's get our JavaScript subfolder. Okay. And I think I've already changed this. I prefer to call it main.js. So go in here and we'll create our JS file. Call this main.js. Okay. Let's create our style.css. Is that what that was called? Style CSS? Yeah. Okay. All right. And then now we should get fewer 404s. Fab icon. You know, honestly, this does bug me, so let's go ahead and get a fab icon together too. Let's see. There's a website that I've used before. It's like let's go find this thing. Fabicon.io. I think that was it. So let's go with emojis. Okay, yeah, there you go. Let's pick a good emoji. Let's see. Is there a newspaper emoji? Is there a newspaper emoji? There's a newspaper emoji. If you're in Thailand, you get this a lot. They don't think people in Thailand are human, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. So would this be under what category is newspaper in? Let's see. Would it be in objects, maybe? Yep, newspaper. Boom. All right. So there we are. And we're going to download this. We may change this later down the road, but for now we're good. Let's extract all this. Okay. Grab all those guys. Put them into the web folder. Okay, now when I refresh, hopefully, no more 404s, and we got a cool fab icon. So that's nice. Okay. Sorry about the coughing. Now, the next bit, this may not seem intuitive, but this is a good time to do it. So, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you why it's a problem, and then we'll get there. So, when you're surfing right now, you notice that this is not secure content, right? So, if you go up here and see, not secure. Some things are disabled, like you can't access the clipboard and some other stuff if you're not using a secure site. So, one of the first things I found that makes my life easier is getting a secure website up and running for development locally, just because then you don't get any big surprises. Even if you have to do workarounds locally, like if you're using unsecure content but you get it to work somehow locally, when you move it to your secure production environment, it's going to be a problem. So the sooner you can get onto a secure into a secure connection, the better. So the way I do that, and it's taken me a few years to kind of figure this out, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to my domain. I use Namecheap, which once again I don't get a cut if you use them, but I've been using them for a few years, and they've been pretty good. So let me go ahead and log it there. I'm sorry, gotta get my one-time code. Be sure to use two-factor if you're doing this kind of stuff. All right. Okay. Okay. And now let's go to my domain list. All right. Well, we'll do that later. Go find my Blink Story domain. Oh, what happened to my Blink Story domain? I had the domain. Did I let it expire or something? That's a sad story. That's pretty funny. I didn't have the .com domain though, I don't think, but I had a different one for a long time ago. Let's see. Let's see, what did I have? I'll tell you what. We'll just get blinkstory.app. So I'm going to grab blinkstory.app. I'm going to skip all the free stuff that I don't want. Let's go check out. Let's see. Sorry, make sure I'm doing the right thing here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Sorry. And this is interesting. I'll show you this. Since I'm in Thailand, everything's always in Thai. And my Thai is not that good, so I gotta switch to English. But all right. Okay. More codes. Sorry about that. But it's just always a lot of rigmarole anytime you want to buy stuff. Okay, let's see. Now, hopefully, I'm the proud owner of blinkstory.app. Okay, so now it's done. So let's go manage it. Go manage my domain. get into the DNS world here. So here's what you can do. We don't have anything public at the moment, right? So that's not a big deal. But I'm going to create, here's how I get this working for my local development environment. So I'm going to create a new A record here. And the host is localhost 127.0.0.1, right? Okay. Whoop, 127, not 1270. There we go. Why can't I type today? Okay. Oh, wait, that's wrong. The host is localhost. The IP address is 127.0.0.1. All right. So that's done. So now that that's done, I don't know how long it'll take that change to become effective, but I can do this. So check this out. Yeah, it's still not registered, but let's see here. Now let's give it a few seconds to propagate. But let's see here. While we're doing that, okay. So the trick is you create a third level domain localhost, right? So then I'll be able to go to that. Oh, I think it might have resolved. No, not yet. Oh yeah, it did. Actually, it did resolve. Okay, cool. So now bring the server back up. Boom. Now you'll see I can. Okay, it's trying to do SSL, right? So that's a problem, right? Okay, so it is resolving right now. So it is pointing to localhost, right? So when I, do that ping again, well, the resolver is not the same. The browser resolver and the resolver in the command prompt are not the same. But here we go. It is working because see, we're getting the SSL protocol error, not the DNS resolution error. Okay, so it will not let me do an unsecure connection to that domain. So here's where we're at next. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go create ourselves a nice wildcard cert using Let's Encrypt, right? So I know how to do it in Linux. I don't think I've ever done it from Windows, so let's look at Let's Encrypt. Yeah, let's get started. Let's see. Yep. Well, let's see. Let's run Let's Encrypt. Let's see if we can even run certbot on Windows, but I think we can, right? Let's see. Oops, sorry about that. There's that rock falling again. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Maybe there's something better than certbot. Let's see. Yes, fine. The problem is they tie the installation of the cert to the getting of the cert pretty tightly. So let's see. Okay. Yep. All right. Let's see. Okay, certbot. Let's see. All right, well, let's go one more step back. So let's look at, first of all, we do need to see what Echo is going to want for this SSL. So what I'm trying to do now is get an SSL certificate that I can install on my local machine that will let me have a secure connection to my local host, right? So first of all, I got to figure out how to do SSL with echo. So let's look at that. Cert TLS, okay, cert file, key file. Okay, that seems pretty cool. All right. Yep, basically server cert, key cert. Okay, see, you're gonna, if I have those files, the certificate and key, it should be that easy, right? So, let's see, listen serve, okay, so that's if you want to do a custom TLS configuration, I guess. Let's see. Oh, auto TLS recipe. Okay, so there's a recipe for this. Okay. All right. Cache certificates. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so this is kind of cool. So let's walk through this. This is basically, they call it a recipe, right? So this is like a way to use Let's Encrypt with echo to auto fetch the cert. So they want a custom HTTP server. Okay, auto TLS manager. This is the class, I guess, right? Auto cert. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, they did their own routing here. I guess this is their own little route, which I don't care about that. Start auto TLS on port 443. Okay. And then what does this custom HTTP server do? I'm trying to see where that's showing up. Where's custom HTTP server being called? Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. I think this is okay. I think this is all the code I need actually to do this. Let's try if that's true. That's kind of crazy. Let's see. If that works, I'm going to be really impressed. That's going to be super easy. So we go back in here. I kind of like that being at the top more. Okay. Auto search stuff. Now, according to this, okay, we have to add that. I wonder if I have to create that folder or not. We'll see in a second if I have to. But okay, and basically, I think, is that it? Okay. Okay, started an HTTP server. All right, HTTPS server. Connection refused. That's weird. Oh, I know why. Because I haven't gotten rid of that port yet. SSL protocol error. Okay. So let's see. Aha, no viable challenge type found. Okay, so what this is now saying is it would automatically create a cert, but okay. So it gets a little complicated. If you guys have never used Let's Encrypt or a certbot, what it does is it provides you an SSL certificate that says the domain name X that maps to this IP address does in fact map to that IP address, right? So it's like basically if you control that domain name, you can get an SSL certificate because you're able to prove to Let's Encrypt that you control that domain. But since I'm sitting behind a firewall, here on my ISP in Bangkok, and I'm using localhost, there's no valid way for it to actually verify that I control the domain localhost, because I can't share a file to them. They can't. But normally what would happen is it would expose some random token at a particular URL, and then they would come back and fetch that token, and they'd say, okay, well, you do in fact control that domain. But since I don't do that, that's what I was looking at before, is I wanted to create a wildcard certificate. So let's see here. Well, I'm trying to think of the frictionless way to do that. Because normally what you do is you change the DNS, you add it's called a text record to your DNS, and you get that. So let's see here. Let's create a wildcard certificate. All right. Yeah, okay, fine, that's fine. All right, let's see if we can get, yeah, let's go ahead and get certbot. So we're going to install certbot. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that. So the EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, those guys. I trust those guys, I guess. We're going to put that under ID. All right. And sorry about that coughing. Yeah, I think probably a lot of pollution today in Bangkok. All right, let's see. We'll finish that up. Okay, so now let's see if I get certbot. Yeah, I wonder why that is, but well, we'll do it. Okay. Certbot. Wait a minute. So we'll just run an administrative command prompt. Yep. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Yep. So now we're gonna have to grab. Let's see. So let's see how we can get a wildcard cert for that. So we have certbot now. So yep, we're gonna do that too, because we'll need that later. Let's go ahead and add a new record. I'm gonna do a wildcard for everything else, right? So do that, and right now we'll just do it to localhost. Well, actually, I don't want to do that at the moment because it might pollute DNS. The problem with DNS is sometimes when you set something like that, it propagates and then it takes a while for it to fix. So let's see here. So all right. Okay, so we're gonna want to use. Yeah, we don't really want DigitalOcean for sure. Let's see. Let's find another something. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Okay. So we got all those things. Okay. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Okay. This is what we want, I think. So let's see if do we have certbot auto? Is it even a thing? Nope. Maybe we can just run certbot. So we'll see. Yep. So let's try this. So we're going to certbot manual, and then preferred challenge DNS. So that means it's going to ask me to modify the DNS for this domain. That's how it's going to prove that I control it. So DNS, guess I could do that. No, I can't. Only on Linux. Never mind. Email. Yeah, if you got my email address, then congratulations, you and 5 million spammers have it. Let's see. And I don't know, do I have to provide a server? I'll try without a server. Agree TOS and then -d star dot linkstory dot app. Cert only. Oh, cert only? Yes, cert only. Okay. Now let's see if this works. Do I let them? I always say yes because I feel guilty for taking their thing for free. So now we've got to add. Okay. Please deploy a DNS text record under the name Acme Challenge Blinkstory.app. So let's go ahead and I think it's actually just underscore Acme Challenge. Let's add a new text record. And I think it's just underscore Acme Challenge. Right. And the value is this. Okay. Okay. I save that off. Now before I hit enter down here, I mean I guess I could let it test, but well, let's go ahead and see. You can test online if you want, so it's like online DNS utilities. Let's see. I think you can do it from here. Let's see here. Can I look up text records? Yeah, text. Oh, well, it doesn't have, it doesn't have a root. That's fine. But, let's see. So let's try text. Okay. Okay, let's do actually. And there it is. Okay. So, should be able to hit enter here. Boom. All right. So now I have a full chain certificate and a key. Okay. All right. They should be good. So now, this gets a little complicated because I would really love if this actually works. If this would work on the production side, I would love to stick with that. I mean, I don't want to have to change that. Oh man, we're already running into something. How many spaces for tabs? It's like I've got 2 configured here, but or wait, my editor's configured to 4. Let's see. This is why software development takes so long. It's like I'm 5 levels down the stack now. So let's do this. Let's fix the first thing first. Do I want 2 or 4 spaces? 4 spaces in my tabs. I guess is standard 2. Is that what everybody's doing? Golang. Tab sizes. 4 spaces. Okay. 8, not 4. Well, okay. So it's either 4 or 8. 2. Oy. Hi. The width of tabs. Okay, we're talking about tabs. So using hard tabs. All right. So let's go back to find my settings, figure out how to do this. Preferences. Settings. Is it syntax specific? Is that what I want? Wait. Tab size 4. That's right. Okay. So tab size is 4. So I guess all the sample code that I got decided that 2 was better. So let's fix it here and get on with our lives. Okay. All right. Okay, so now, as I said before, I don't necessarily want to get rid of this. If this works, this is totally awesome. But on the flip side, I guess it doesn't matter anymore since I have a wildcard cert. I just have to keep renewing that wildcard cert, I guess. Let's see. Let's look up this auto TLS. This is where it's nice to be open source because I can figure out how this auto TLS stuff works. So let's go look at echo start auto TLS code is. I guess we're going to have to maybe go to the code. Yep. So. Okay, start auto TLS. That's it, I think, right? Auto TLS manager Git certificate, okay. All right. Because what I'm going to do is probably just spoof it. Right. Okay, auto cert manager. Where does that live? No. Okay, auto certs. That's a different package. We gotta go find that package. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now let's see here. So what I'm looking for is a way to basically push my files directly into the cache so I can use the same code in production and locally, right? So get certificates, yeah. Okay. How do I want to do this? Dir cache. Okay. The question is, how do I know? All right, let's see. Go to the source code, I guess. So, start auto TLS. What did we decide that was doing? Yeah, it's somewhere in here, right? Okay. Okay. TLS manager, get certificate. Okay. Configure TLS. TLS manager, get certificate, and so on. And hello info. Is that right? Where does this get called? Okay, let's see. Somewhere near. TLS config. Okay. That's it right there, huh? Okay. Oh, wait, okay, wait, what? Certificates equals make TLS certificates. Okay, let's see. Oh, that has explicit files, right? Configure servers. TLS listener. Okay. 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 Let's package TLS here, man. Let's see. Okay, address equals address. So the big question is what? Server name. Okay. Server name. Okay. Okay, so what am I passing in the server name here? Not really. So how does it know what host name to request? That's a big question. That's a good question. So, okay, host policy equals host policy. Let's see. Maybe this will give us a hint. So, custom server. Except TOS under cache, right? Right, yeah. What is host policy? What is host policy exactly? Okay. Okay, well, so we might be able to get a little bit of traction by doing the host policy thing. That's how I was. So, the host policy, well, shoot, but I don't want to do that. Okay. So, let's see. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Like, I really think I could make this work if I just copy the right file into the cache, but I'm not sure what file it's asking for. And I wonder if there's any way to get any debugging out of that. It's like, I guess once again we can go look at the source code, huh? So, where's the source code for this package? So once again, open source is awesome. Just go read the source code. The one I care about is which package is this? No, it's crypto, but okay, got it. Acme, right? Yeah. Let's go look at Acme. Is that right? Okay, let's see here. What was that? Git. Git certificate, right? Well, that was actually in dir cache, right? Mm-hmm. Base certificate. Oh, this is interesting. The base element of certificates will be used. I wonder if I can provide some. Let's see here. Maybe that's where we can do it. This is deprecated, but what is it now? Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see here. It'd be so nice if we could get this to work, because the deal with this is if you don't, then I got to create a cron job or something when I deploy this to production, and it's going to have to fetch new certs like periodically, like every couple of weeks or whatever. It'd be nice if it was built into the server itself, which is why I want to do it this way. But the flip side is, for local server, I can't do that because I can't confirm it automatically. So let's see if the internet knows anything about this. Let's see. All right. Let's see. That's not exactly the question I wanted there. Okay. Great. Awesome. Yeah, okay. So, right. Auto TLS manager. Isn't that what it is, though? Auto cert. Oh, auto cert. Okay, wait, let's go into here. So an auto cert, let's see. Autocert.manager. Okay, so let's look at autocert.manager. Huh. Okay. All right. Let's see. Does not affect cached certs. Okay. All right. I think we're getting close. So now let's see if we can find the source code for this. Still says it's here, but okay, let's look in the right place. Acme autocert. To go. Get certificate method. Where is it? Okay. Okay, here's get certificate. Okay, so problem not set. Server name. Okay. Now let's look for this. If doesn't contain, let's see, leading trailing dots, if it doesn't have at least one dot, component count invalid. Okay, so it's doing the ASCII conversion. Okay. Okay. So name, okay, we have our name. Okay, cert key. All right, so we're trying to get rid of any trailing dots here. NCK is what? Okay. Okay. Okay, so one more time. I know this seems kind of like a waste of time, guys, but it's really a useful exercise sometimes to understand how things work. So we're digging into this thing. Now we're understanding that get certificate, what it's trying to do here is it's doing a lot of manipulation on the server name because apparently there have been issues with trailing dots and leading dots and that sort of thing. And then it's also trying to get rid of, invalid like character non-ASCII characters, right? So yeah, I wish I knew what that problem. I don't have the time now to look at that, but it looks like there were some Greek letter issues for domain names. So basically it converts it to ASCII. Then context of timeout, a 5-minute timeout, caching host policy. Okay, so basically what's funny about this is like when we try and do that initial server startup, it might take up to 5 minutes because it's going to actually initiate the Let's Encrypt process and do the handshaking and all that stuff, so it could take a while. So that's what this is all about. So it creates a I guess like a routine maybe. So I have to look and see how that works, but basically after 5 minutes it'll cancel it once it's done. When this thing exits, and it will abort this this timeout here. But if the function doesn't return within 5 minutes, I guess it will return an error. Yeah, let's see. So if wants token cert, okay. So this m.cert. So m is what? M is us, right? M is the manager. Yeah. So the cert function. So let's find this cert function. Okay. Returns a certificate either from state or cache. Okay. All right. So let's see how it finds it. Cert key. If it's in state, it returns that. Cache get. So let's look at cache get. Cert key. At the very bottom line, let's see. It's just using, I think, the name of the domain. Let's see. Cache equals nil. Cache miss, okay. Cache.get. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to figure out the format of this stuff in the cache. It looks like here's cache put. Let's look at this. So you pass in a key and a search to cache put. And then okay. Okay. So, all right. So after that incredibly deep rabbit hole dive, this is the piece of code I care about. So right here, this cache put function, if I want to, I can, I think, populate the cache with my own cert there. So let's see. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. The biggest question is the private key. Where's he get the private key from? I guess it's built into this thing. The TLS certificate. All right, so let's see where this is. Let's see. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Now the big question is, all right. Context. What is that? Context. Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. The last thing I got to figure out is this context parameter. How does that get in there? So we're now like 5 levels deep in here, right? So which package is this? This is this is the TLS package again. Autosert package. Okay, let's see. Okay. Right. Cache get CTX. Okay, here's where the context is coming from. Ah ha ha. All right. Okay. So that was what I was thinking. Okay, so this is a kind of a Go idiom, and I'm still kind of learning this, but okay, what this is doing here, this is where it's setting the expectation that this context will time out in 5 minutes, right? So it gets passed down into all these other calls so that if they need to cancel for some reason, they can, well, is that right? Let's look up context with timeout. I got to refresh my memory on this thing. Okay. So basically, deadlines, cancellation signals, and other requests. Okay, that makes sense. Coming requests to a server should create a context and outgoing calls. Context. The chain of function calls between them must propagate the context. All right. Okay. Right, so they get passed in like that, right? Okay. So, now, okay. Put, wait. String and data, let's see. Yeah, but that's not what we're looking for. That's not what we want. We need specifically the auto TLS manager. PEM decode. Well, okay, so let's just try it. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so back to way back when we generated these things here. So here are public and private keys. Let's see. How can I best do this? I want to show you guys this stuff, but I can't show you those keys. So let's do this. Okay. Oh, that's wrong. No, it's not wrong. That's right. Those are symbolic links. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay. Let's see. Do I have cat? I do have cat. Chain.pem, privkey.pem into cache dot. Let's call it, actually, we're just going to call it linkstory.app. See what happens there. Okay. Linkstory.app to D projects, GitHub, linkstory, server for now. Okay. Let's see, projects, GitHub, linkstory, server. Okay. Now, okay. Well, actually, and I think it's using bar because it's expecting Linux kind of thing for cache, right? Let's go ahead and make it a relative to the current folder thing. That's probably not a good idea, actually. No, it's not. So, well, then I guess we'll just have to make one. Var www.cache. Okay. Really? Oh, it already made it. Me account plus key. Okay, well, there's a private key. I don't know what that one's for, though. Okay. I don't think this is going to work, but we'll try it. Try and firing up the old server here. Oh wait, this is the wrong place. Let's go to a different command prompt. Oh wait, what? Nope, we want to... Huh. Well, that was suspiciously quick, but way over here. Okay, so it did not buy my thing. I just wish I could get it to tell me what cache file it's trying to read. Okay, well, we've gone far enough down that particular rabbit hole. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to make this code smart enough to know if we've provided keys, we'll just use those, and it will be okay, I think. So, how much of this do I need to refactor? I think I can do it down here, probably, right? Okay. Here's how I'm going to do it. Let's see, is there anything in that? There is something in that, actually, isn't there? Delete that bad boy. Actually, maybe I won't. Well, yeah. I'm going to leave it where it is. Okay, so... Yeah. The cache will be in the server folder. What we got to do, though, if you do this kind of thing, is you've got to remember to add your git ignore, right? So, ignore that and keys. Okay. Actually, well, maybe we'll just do that, like dot star, and we'll call this, oh my god. So if I do that, then it'll ignore git ignore, which, that's going to be a nightmare. Okay. And we'll call this git ignore. Wait, no. Am I in the wrong folder? Yes, I am. Close that. Don't save that. I want to go up one to server. Cache.keys. Save this off. Git ignore. Okay, so now create a new folder. I really don't like the positioning of that. Keys, okay. Back to this thing. So we want fullchain.pem to copy that. Let's go back to D. Oh, I thought I made it .keys, did I? Okay. Okay, full chain, we'll call that link story wildcard full chain dot search. Or well, we'll just call it server.search. Okay. And then key.pem. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, if those files exist, then we will start up a manual TLS server using those keys. So, the easiest way would be file exists. OS path exists. Is that right? Let's see. Check if a file doesn't exist. Schrodinger's error. It's like, oh, that's kind of funny. Mm. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't want to open this file, actually. That's funny. This is the one case where I do want to do it. OS is not exist. Let's see. All right, let's see. This is the fun of working in a language you don't use much, is you get to look up every little nuance. You really want to take the time to figure out what is idiomatic, what's the best way to do it, you know? Let's see. Errors is, okay, so. Okay, so I'm going to roll with this. This is good. So we're going to basically say, if we have keys, key dot, what did I call that file? Did I literally call it key dot? Oh, that doesn't need to be there. Key.pim. Well, actually, I want to rename it. Call this. Oh, great. Tried so hard. If you guys got that frame, good luck. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll go with that. By the way, Brad, that flash you saw back there, just make sure that doesn't make it into the final product. If you can get it, that big blob of text. So, anyway, all right, so we're going to see if the file does not exist, then we're going to do the auto TLS. Boom. Otherwise, we will start it up the old-fashioned way. So now let's go close some of this crap. My brain is full. Let's go back to... okay, that's... back to echo. Okay. SSL with echo, so HTTPS server. Right here we are. Okay, cool. That is in fact it. Okay. Start TLS on port 443. Keys. Okay. All right. All right. So clean that up a little bit. Oh. So I'm already kind of, I'm not happy about this. It's tabs. Okay. Go back over here. This is the other command prompt. Let's do this one. Oh, okay. Okay. A few errors there. Let's import OS. And I can't break myself of this habit. In Python, I always use single quotes for string literals, but that's not a thing in Golang. So, and then errors, I guess we need that too. And log. Okay. Ta-da! So after a mere hour and a half or whatever, how long that took, you'll notice now we have our lovely lock icon. So that means we actually are using the cert. And we got our cool Let's Encrypt certificate, right? And so the good news about that is now I can do all kinds of cool stuff that you can't really do with an insecure HTTP connection. So that's good. I'm gonna give ourselves a little pat on the back for that, because the trick is, like I said, once you can get this done, it will greatly simplify your later production deployment. Right when it's time to deploy to production, things will function pretty much the same way they did when you were testing. So that's good news. I think now is a good time to probably do our first push. So let's get old GitHub. Let's get the GitHub desktop up and running. We got to initialize that project. Okay, so let's come over here and we will add a new one from right in here. Link story. Okay. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. Hold on. Is that right? Wait. That was one that I haven't done that in so long. Quiet mode. Let's see. Q. Okay. Okay. Now let's try it. Okay, add this repo. Okay, so now there's a bunch of stuff. Now let's make sure I did it right. Okay, our designs are there. Git Ignore file is there. Okay, got our base modules. We got our about stuff. Okay, that's fine. I guess I should maybe, yeah. Well, this really belongs in the credits or something. Let's go ahead and clean that up. I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't want to leave an about file hanging out in the root of my project. So let's go in here and grab this. Let's see here. Let's go to the root, create a new file. TBD. But we'll save this as. Okay. Delete this about text. Gone. Okay. Now let's go back in here. Back to, okay, we got a new README file. We got Git Ignore. Makes sense, right? It's not happy because I didn't put a carriage return at the end of that. Fine. There we go. Happy now, GitHub? All right. Okay, we got our command there. Got our module. Now let's see. Let's look that up too. I don't know. Let's see. Golang Git Ignore. Okay, binaries. Yeah, we don't want that stuff. Okay, let's grab these just for kicks. And we're going to put that at the root. So we'll create a new file here. Okay. So we got that module, some. All right, so we got, what is that? Yep, those are our fab icons, whatever. Blank CSS, that, fab icon, index, HTML, main.js. I mainly want to make sure I don't check in the keys and stuff. Those should not be going anywhere. I think I did not. Because once they're out, and that's it forever, right? So, yeah, I think we're good. Okay. And I'm sorry, I just realized it's been off screen the whole time. But, you know, I'm essentially trying to get my initial Git check-in looking good, so. Initial check-in. Push this up. Don't want to have to write it again, so branch, let's see. Current branch. Whatever happened to, I guess it's still doing master instead of main, but I'll just have to go with that. So Blink Story, a hyper, newspaper, site. And we're going to go ahead and push this out, make it public if you guys want to see it. It's coming. All right, so we've got about another hour. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to give myself like 5 minutes and then I'll be back. So in the meantime, sorry, you guys are, I guess you can look at a blank browser window or something, but we'll return in just a moment. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Get some tea. Take a little bio break, maybe. All right. So, that's hot. Now, back to the back end. Well, kind of the back end. So we did get our static file server up and running, which is cool. Where do we go from here? The next thing we'll need to do is we'll need to put our API in, and we'll need to put in support for like fetching stories and fetching images and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, stop. So the way I like to do that is to go design the URLs and stuff first, and then come back and fill in the code. So let's get. I thought I had Postman running before, didn't I? There it is. I saw it. So many things. I think on my main account, I've made these thumbnails much smaller because I usually have so many windows open. I'm gonna have to do that and make a note or something to reduce the tile sizes. It's not easy. It requires using the registry editor. If you guys want to see it, I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but let me know in the chat if you want to see how to do that, because if you too have like a million of these things open, it's nice if they all show up on the same screen. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So let's close some stuff down too. Get rid of that. I'm gonna leave that up for now. Tab icons we're good with. Okay. All right. So Postman. So the trick with this is kind of a chicken and egg issue. Is like, we don't have any content yet, so you need URL. We need the endpoints to post new content, but we also, can't return any content until we can add it. So, let's just start with let's add a request, and sorry. The way I like to do this is usually base URL, API, and then let's call it feed, and that's going to be the main URL. So like when we do a get on this, it's going to return the stories that are significant to us based on if we have to pass query parameters or whatever, or identity and that kind of thing. So save this off. Got to define this thing here. So let's create a new environment. If you've never messed with Postman too much, we're going to create a new environment called development. And so this is how you can avoid having to constantly change your URLs around when you want to test production or staging or something. So base URL, let's type it correctly. And the value will be https localhost.blinkstory.app. Okay. Without the carriage return. Save that off. Now we come back over here. Pick our environment. Now base URL is defined. And now the app is actually stopped, and even if it weren't stopped, we don't have a path for that. So, but at least see what it looked like. Right there. Oh wait. CD server. All right. Now, if we run this request, we're going to get a 404, right? which makes sense. Sorry. So the next thing I would like to do is let's look into best practices for doing RESTful stuff with Golang. So, wow, there's actually a Thai article. That's kind of cool. There's a group. Interesting. I'm going to make a note about that. I'm going to join that later. Okay. Pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm going to have to read through this. My Thai reading skills are not great, so it would take me for freaking ever. But maybe I'll do the auto translate or something. See, like this is like sarang by server go le import. So it's like go to server go and then import this. Anyway, whatever. So it'd be interesting to see how Thai programmers talk, because yeah, I'm curious. Anyway, so that's cool, but yet I want to bookmark that guy. I've never really seen a technical article in Thai before, so it's pretty fun. So let's see here. All right, so here is a Echo REST API boilerplate. So let's see. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But let's see what they do. I think this is more than we need. So let's look for less. And in fact, this is probably almost exactly what we're going to be doing. I think we're going to be using Mongo for the most part, I think, on the back end. Let's see what they talk about here. Okay. So this guy likes to do like a separate folder for the routes, responses, models, and everything. I tend to like to put everything in one module, like the routes and everything, so it's not, I don't have to go jump up between folders to do stuff like that. All right, let's go back to the Echo documentation. Maybe we'll find some good stuff there. Sorry if you guys are hearing the chainsaw. I think they're cutting trees down here again. Something like that. If you can hear that, that is them trimming trees outside of my condo. So let's see if we can get some documentation on RESTful stuff, or at the very least, I want to see. I mean, I guess it's not rocket science. I guess we can just create a we could just create our own module and import it, whatever. Okay, well, so let's see if we can organize this. So let's go back over here to our project. And now, remember, we kind of bounced up in here to the web for a long time, but we want to create there are two different things. There's internal or there's package. So the first question is, do we want to make this, would it make sense to make this a shared library that people in the world would use, or is it pretty much going to be internal? My gut is telling me it's probably pretty internal. I don't think it could be really of any general use to anybody. So we're going to create an internal folder. That was what they called it, right? Somewhere. Yeah, see that guy. Internal, right? And then, yep. Internal app, your app. Okay. Oh, this layout is enforced by Go? Oh, interesting. Okay. Get it. I think we can get away with just doing it directly without having to have a separate app and package folder because, like, yeah, I think it's all going to be shared. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to create a new folder. And we'll call it the BS API. So this is the BS API module. And I guess we're going to need another main Go. Is that right? Is that what people do? Let's see here. Once again, sorry about that chainsaw. It's pretty brutal, huh? Let's take a quick. Maybe we got a good example of. Yeah, I don't know about middleware, but I'm more interested in seeing like a good example of. Let's see. Let's take a look at this example here. Okay. So where did they put their modules? I don't know. They put everything in the main folder, so I guess yeah, that's legit. Lab stack echo. So they did these handlers here. Handler, okay, handler. Where's handler coming from? Oh, there. It's from there. Okay. All right. Okay. So I don't really like this pattern that they used where they imported all of these modules and then they did their routing here. I would rather each module be responsible for doing its own routing, ideally. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this is what we're talking about here, this grouping stuff. See, API. So basically we're saying everything at this URL and below, then this is a relative URL to this. So you can configure them there. And then, let's see. Yeah, that makes sense. Server header. Server header. Server header. Oh, okay, so you can have a handler function that gets called. Okay. That gets called for this group, and then each individual group thing gets called. Okay, so that makes sense. I think I would prefer to just have, like, let's see. I want the main function to be responsible for the overall namespace, right? So it is important to show here, you know, we have this, we have the static routes here, right? And then we can say, what do we say here? APIs equals group. Or just, you know, we could call it API, I guess. E.group with a big G. And I can't use single. Gotta remind myself not to do that. API, right? And then, is that required? Is that a required parameter? I think there are no optional parameters in this world, right? Let's see. There are. Let's see here. I have to pass in none or something? Well, we'll find out soon enough. So, we're going to create our internal, we have our BS API thing here, right? So, can I just do, okay. I have to do package BS API, right? Go, right? I guess I should go take a quick peek in here and what they did in handler, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then, right, so my function here is going to be function, add routes, or add routes, and then it's going to take, one parameter, which is a, what is the type of that, you think? Let's go back and see. What does echo.group return? Let's go find the echo documentation. Group. Find the binding stuff. Why doesn't group even show up there? Not context, probably. Binding. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Well, this looks like a whole other topic we're gonna have to get into in a little bit, but like a URL path parameter, we're gonna be wanting to deal with that probably. Header request body. Interesting. Okay, but where's our routing at? Let's go to routing for a second here. Looks like a group. Okay. Group returns a group, a reference to a group, is that right? Okay. All right, so let's see. Group. All right, and so to get access to that, we would need to, how do I import that? Let's get echo before, I think that might be enough. All right, add routes. So for now, we'll just do nothing. See if we can get the structure working. So save that off. So theoretically, we create a group, and I need a reference to my own project now. So this would be, what would it be? It would be github.com/means/blinkstory/ what? Let's see, how do you get a reference to internal? Or whatever. Let's see. Internal BS API. All right, now let's see. We got plenty of errors, I'm sure. Let's see what we got here. Okay, imported and not used. Echo. Okay, that is an error. We can't do that. And then undefined group. Okay, so do I have to do? Let's see. How do you import that? Let's see. Let's see if that's helpful. Not much. Let's see here. I could just use interface, but that seems like hopping out. See, basically, if I wanted to get the correct type here, right? So, let's see here. I'm hoping at some point I will see echo. Maybe I just need to do echo.group. Maybe that would do it. Okay. Imported and not used. Okay, so that compiled. So now we can go back over here to main. And right here, we will do register. What did I call it? Register. Add routes. Add routes. Add routes. Yeah. I think we don't need these either. I gotta quit doing that. It's an old habit. And it started. Okay, cool. Alright. So now, let's go back and look at Postman for a second. So we're trying to do a get here, right? To get our feed. So for now, let's go and implement that. So if this works the way I think it works, now I can come over here and I can do group.add, right? Group dot. Is that correct? Yeah, let's look at CRUD for a second. That'll probably get me close enough. Oh, wait. Okay. Get. Okay, so let's do that. So let's do group.get /feed. That's what I said, right? Feed. We'll map this to get feed. Okay. And then for that, I need a context, right? And okay, so we can do JSON stuff. There we go. Okay, so let's just see if this works. Return status okay. So I also need a reference to HTTP, right? Yep, need that. Okay. And then we will do, I think I can just do that, right? Can I not? Or can I? Can I do that? I don't think I can. I'm going to have to create a new type for this, I believe. Okay. Yeah, so let's create a new struct. All right, let's go back up here. All right. So for now, the feed will just return. Let's see, what do we need in there? How about just at least the date? Let's see. So, what are we going to call it? just call it timestamp. How about that? And then we need, now see, this is how it works. I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of Golang date time structure, you know, date time type, whatever. Dates, times, and go. Okay, format and time. Those are the two things we want, I guess. So what is the type, though? I don't really want a tutorial. I really just want some information. Let's see about that. So I need date. JSON too, right? Let's see. What people say. All right. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, will that work, I guess? Okay. Okay. This is interesting. So, I like this guy's answer way better than this guy's answer, because this whole aliasing types thing looks kind of crufty to me. I don't really care for that. So, let's see. And once again, I'm trying to be kind of go, you know, idiomatic, right? So we'll do that. And we'll call this timestamp is going to be, let's see. Let's check this out. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want, right? Okay, that's cool. So this is exactly the logic I like. But, okay. Okay, I see why that is. All right. Now I get it. So he's having to do this alias so it doesn't end up getting in a weird infinite Marshall JSON loop or something. So let's see. Okay. So let's do, like I said, something as simple as like, let's put a timestamp in here. But if we figure out the right way to do this, then we'd only have to do it once, and the next time we'll already know. So let's go ahead and grab these. We're going to want those for sure. Kind of like to put them in this order. That's just me. Okay. So time.time, and we do need to put this in here. So we'll put this is essentially like probably like a decorator or something. This is just text that gets associated with this property in a struct, and it has no meaning to the compiler, but you can use introspection at runtime to get a hold of it, and so that's what the JSON marshaller does. So, and honestly, it does kind of bug me that I have to do that. It's like it would be sure nice if I could just do timestamp, and I wonder if I can do that. I know that Golang wants capitals for the field properties, but I mean, this exercise has always just seemed kind of crazy here. Actually, what if I just do it that way? What if I do timestamp? I don't know that it will unmarshal without the stamp though, but let's try it and see what happens. So now we need to get this marshaller, right? Okay, so we're going to add this custom marshaller here. And the type is actually feed in this case, right? Right. Okay, that's actually the same. Okay. Okay. And I'm curious what will happen there. But all right, let's see. Oh, I see. I really don't want it to be a Unix timestamp, though. I actually do kind of want it to be a nice string. Yeah. Or do I? Do I, though? No, actually, this is not exactly what I wanted, so let's do it over here. Format. So how do I format, let's see. 86, good old 8601. When everybody asks you about the perfect date, tell them 8601. Let's see here. So dot format time RFC. Is that right? All right. So now let's go back in here. I wonder if all this actual aliasing was this actually necessary? I guess it was probably. Huh? Well, or was it? Not really. Yeah, I think this may be overcomplicated. I think I might have been able to get by with just this. Let's see. Well, okay, let's see. New encoder encode. Maybe none of this is necessary. Okay, let's see. All right, we're going to create a... Can I just do that? Can I? Okay, let's try that. Once again, I'm still kind of learning the idiom here in Go, so... timestamp, which is... actually, wait, hold on. Should be time.now, right? Okay. can't be that easy, can it? Let's see. Nope, not that easy. Oh, because commas are cool. Whoops. Alright, so there's a few things. OS and encoding JSON. I know that they like that, but let's see. Too many return values. Alright, let's see. Okay, because the actual return values need to be error, is that right? Get feed returns error. Alright, now let's see what we got here. Okay, well that sure worked like a champ, didn't it? That's almost exactly what I wanted. So I've got my cool UTC timestamp in here, whatever, that's nice. So I'm returning the time the feed was created. Let's see here. Yeah. Somewhere in here you guys exist. There we are. Well, you know, we've got about 30 minutes left. I'm going to take a detour, and I'm going to fix this because this really does annoy me. You can make these tiles smaller. So let's see. Make tiles smaller. Windows 10. It requires some registry editing, but it's not that bad, as I recall. Yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah, it was the thumbnail. Thumbnail min width, height percent, that kind of stuff, right? Okay. Okay, so we got to do some rig editing, but let's do some registry editing and see what we got. Yep, time for registry editing. Let's go to I'll try and do this so you guys can see what I'm doing at the same time. Current user, software. Wait, which software is it? The uppercase software or lowercase software? I guess it's the same. Current user, software, Microsoft. Windows. Current version. Explorer. Multitasking. Oh wait, does it exist? Wait, Explorer multitasking. Multitasking view. Make sure I'm in the right place. Let's see here. Current version. What is current version Explorer? Okay, so I think I have to create this one. Okay, so we're going to create a new key. Is that right? Yep, there we go. And then we need another new key. Now we need these values from down here. Bet you didn't think we were going to be doing registry editing today. So let's see. Can I do that? I think I have to set them. Oi. Okay, thumbnail min width. It's a D word, right? Is that right? Yeah. Min width 32. Decimal? Is that decimal? I think it's decimal. Okay. Right. And then min height percent. That's, what is that? 1%? It doesn't really matter. 1%. There we go. And max height percent. 20%. Okay. And if that worked, oh, look at that, will you? All right, that's a little small. This is what I was talking about, though. So let's make this slightly bigger. Let's see, we'll do it in decimal just for everybody. Let's see, so let's make it 50. Let's see how that looks. Oh, wait, we'll have to probably modify this too. Percentage, let's make it 10%. That's too big. Make it 2%. Let's make it 4%. Getting there. Let's make it 8%. Okay, this is feeling pretty tight. So this is what I'm looking for. You know, it's nice to be able to see everything at once. And the cool thing if you do this is you can come in here and you can do stuff like you can close things as well, and that's pretty cool. Like, what is this? Is this that's the old one? I don't need that anymore. Didn't even know I was running that. Okay, so thank you for your quick detour, but that is how you can modify Alt Tab. And Brad, if you see that, I mean that last bit, I don't know if you need to include that or not, but yeah, leave it in. I guess it's useful stuff. Anything you can do to make your life a little bit easier as a programmer is worth it. So we're going to roll with that. So now we have our endpoint up and running. We are getting our kind of useless feedback. It's a timestamp with nothing in it. So, you know, it's getting towards the end of the stream, and I don't know if I want to dig into something really beefy like getting MongoDB up and running and any of that kind of stuff. So let's go to the front end and do a little bit of front end stuff before we shut down, just so it's not a blank page anymore. So we have our cool mockups over here. So yeah, let's go with that for now. Let's go back into our website. Here we are. Okay, so got this. Indent that. What is with that? It's like, okay, it's still 2, and it does bother me. Why is that happening? Preferences, settings. Let's make our tab size. Let's see. Yeah, I've recently switched to Sublime, but people are telling me I need to do VS Code. Maybe next week we'll be using VS Code. We'll see. Because yeah, why is it only doing 2? Maybe it's because it started as 2. Let's see if that helps. Maybe it's that smart. Nope. Okay, well, we'll roll with this for now, but that bothers me. So, looking at this, you know, we have kind of a natural, there's naturally a header there. So let's start with a header element, because HTML5 gave it to us, so why don't we use it? And H1 will be link story. And then H2 will be for, and then, okay. So then we get into that. Well, yeah, we'll probably we'll have to replace that later, but here's how I like to do these kind of things is I like to use the HTML markup to represent variables in the display. You know, I know that's not the React way. The React way would be generate all this HTML on the fly and, you know, use JSX and all that. Well, what I'll just create an element, I'll just create a span in here, and let's call the class will be, or even better, let's do it this way. Source equals, and we'll call this, let's see, primary story. What do I call this thing? Primary story region. Let's call it that. Okay. Yep. So yeah, it's looking great. Oh, there's something there anyway. Not looking great, but there is something there. A couple other things I could do. So I do sometimes run, I do like a CSS reset sometimes, but what I'll do is this, margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing content box, right? Whoop, that's wrong. Okay. I just, basically, I'll pick the margins, I'll pick all that stuff. I don't, the problem is a lot of times the browser decides for me, oh, you want some padding there, you want some margin there, but you're better off just clearing all that out to begin with, and then you can add it back in. So, now the only downside about doing it this way is, okay, so if we make this, the story region like this, well, we'll have to work on that later. If we want to use any kind of, if we want to be search engine friendly, if we make this thing pretty much a single page app, then we won't get indexed much at all by the search engines. So we might have to do a different flavor of the site for search engines to get that data into the database. So that'll be fun. But for now, I'm going to put a placeholder in here. Bangkok. All right. And like I said, I'm not too worried about the formatting just yet. Let's get some, why not? We'll just do horizontal rule. Because they exist, they're things. But how do I keep getting up there? All right, we got some horizontal rules there. And we will put our, okay, so now this is where we get into, okay, so let's do this. One of the things I want to talk about in this particular project is how I like to do HTML custom element development for my sites. Instead of, like I said, instead of doing the, well, okay, so in the old days, presentation and logic and data, they were all separate. It's like everything was separate. Presentation and structure and, the model view controller paradigm. Basically, we'd separate the concerns, right? You'd have like your front end would just do the front end, and then the back end would just do the data, and then, everything else would kind of be in its own little bucket. But the modern world of React and everything is basically, hey, React does everything. It's got the data. It's going to generate the front end. If there's any styling to be done, it might do that too. And, I just don't care for it. It makes life a lot harder, I think. So, we're going to do this. We're going to get that. We're going to create a new custom component. And so we'll use the BS prefix for this. And it'll be primary region. How about that? Primary region. And I'm just playing with this for now, but we're going to use some custom elements for this for sure. So now I'll do another custom element, and I'll call this BS regions, or region, yeah, BS regions. Okay. And so it'll be responsible for displaying this region hierarchy, right? And then, let's see, we're going to need to put the date, so we'll do that. And actually, okay, so now, let's see, do we have time to get into this? Maybe kind of. Got 15 minutes left. If you guys have seen my last couple casts, I've been using my own framework to do these custom elements called PH. So we're going to go ahead and add PH in here. So let's get, I call it the plain HTML framework, but it's really a very minimalist framework. Find a GitHub PH. But it's essentially a way to combine your styling and your markup and your data and your JavaScript all inside of an HTML template, and just a very clean way to me to build custom elements, as opposed to kind of the conventional way, which people do everything in JavaScript and you're including a lot of literal HTML inside your JavaScript, and I don't like that. So this way I can build all the markup I want, and I can style it using CSS here instead of having to include that in my JavaScript. And then my JavaScript is just literally behaviors. I don't have to embed a bunch of markup or anything like that in it. So the way to use this is I'm going to go over here and grab that. And we're going to do a submodule. So let's go ahead into, here we are, And we're in the right place. Web, W web, is that right? Yep. So git add sub module. Oh wait, git sub module add. I was getting confused. All right. Okay, so now we've got that there. If we look in our project, we have ph. So we'll go through ph.js and we'll get the ph file. And you always want to include it pretty much the first thing, I think, up at the top here. So we're going to go through /ph.js, ph.js, okay? And then the only other thing about that is you do have to initialize it if you read the docs. You have to wait for your DOM content to load and then you read it. So if you look at the samples somewhere, well, it tells you in here, but like if you look at this sample file here, whoop. Yeah, as soon as the DOM content is loaded, you do ph init, and then you can do the rest of your listers and stuff too. So we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and go into our main JS. DOM content loaded. ph init. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, we're going to go with this. Okay. So now, go back in here. Whoop. Oh, it's stopped. Let's start the server. Am I in the right place? No. Let's go back one. Okay. And it loaded. Didn't get any errors. Of course, it didn't do anything, but we'll get there in a second. What I will do is I created a custom control for the last project that I want to steal for this one. So let's go find that. It was in exactly, right? And under... where did it live? I thought I put it in here. Yeah, actually I just hard-coded in here, right? So date time. No, that wasn't it. Actually, it wasn't here. I created like a so dates are interesting. I wanted to be able to present the date in the current time zone in a kind of an easy way. So I think I created like a date component somewhere. So let's see where I put that. Did I put it in this project maybe? Let's go in here and see. Yeah, the X date. All right. Yep. So I can provide a date style, right? And then, okay. Okay, date style, right? Yeah, there you go. Where does that come from? Okay, that's what we did. Okay, so, well, I don't know if this is exactly what I want, though. What this thing does is it takes its content and it turns it into a data object and then formats it, depending on how you set to format it. So, yeah, let's grab it and see anyway. Let's see. If I'm going to be using custom elements on this thing extensively, I'm going to create a new folder for that to keep them kind of out of the way. And I always call it HTML because they are HTML files pretty much. We'll call this one, let's see. You have to wrap them all in a ph components tag. And, whoop. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and, well, I'll go ahead and steal that for now. Actually, there's a lot here. I don't really want all that. Never mind. We're just going to use it. You have to extend a class that extends ph element. So we'll do that. All right, there we go. And we'll call this expressive.html. So now I can include it by coming down here and doing components or ph include is equal to HTML expressive.html. And I can spell include correctly would be good. Okay. And we'll see if that loads. Maybe it did. Yeah, it loaded it. Another way to tell, I'm going to grab these classes right away too because I like these. So hbox, right? Isn't it here? Oh wait, it's in this one. Okay, so horizontal box, which is really useful. Vertical box, I'm going to grab that too. So grab these guys here. Make sure that I change the, yep, has to extend ph element. There we go. All right. Now let's go back in here, refresh that. Now, the thing about the date is, let me put this in here. So now we get an invalidate, which is cool. At least it's doing something. So now we can give this equals main date. So we'll go ahead and initialize it. Let's see here. Let's call this function refresh. Or how about init site or something like that. Init, init. Okay. And then we can say main date inner text equals. Does it when does it update to? I'm curious. Let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah, this isn't really going to do what I wanted it to do anyway, but yeah. Maybe I'll modify it next week. I think we're going to run out of time for tonight. We've got 5 more minutes. This thing was intended for server-side stuff. So like if, for example, I'm generating the server-side date, like if I put in here, you know, right, and I come over here, boop, then it's going to do that, right? So that's kind of cool. But since I'm not doing server-side rendering, now I have to set the date. Which, you know, I would just have to modify this code a little bit, I think. So, like, how can I do that? Is there I'd have to look for DOM mutation if I deal with the inner text or whatever. So, I think the way I would handle this would be, let's see. Oh, I'd like, okay, I'll do that. All right. So now there's a date property, right? And if we set it, we can refresh. Okay. So now during refresh, we'll do this. We'll say and let's make this, it is empty actually. Didn't I save that? Okay, yeah, I didn't save that. Okay, invalidate, which is fine. But now if I come in here and say equals new date. Oh. Is that execute? Oh, it's not being executed. That's why. So there's one more handler I want to do. Document.add event listener. I think it's ph loaded, right? Yep. So that's the listener that gets called whenever the plain HTML components have been loaded in its site. Whoop, now we got errors. Let's see. Main date is not defined, but it could be. Could very easily be. Main date. Okay. And there we are. October 3rd, 2022. And, well, we're 3 minutes early, but you know what, guys? I'm going to call it quits for now. So, hope you guys had fun. This is going to be a long haul. There's a good bit to do to make this site work, but, you know, we'll get there. I'm just trying to, I use these kind of things as a chance to play around with my own ideas for stuff and for, you know, kind of a learning experience for me so I can play with, you know, Golang a little bit more and try and refine my custom elements and things. So if you guys have stuff you would like to see specifically or you're interested in, just go ahead and send me a message on Discord or, you know, leave a comment on the YouTube stuff. And there will be edited versions of these videos coming out soon, so they're a lot shorter. So if you're interested, come check them out. Otherwise, I will see you guys all next week. Have a good week.